Okay, this is now the 5 Minute Tarot for the 23rd of September 2017. And Vitautas, some of you may recognize the name because he asked a couple of questions before. And he emailed to say that he can answer what kind of questions with the tarot, but he's not quite sure what to do with a why, right? Because some people can say, well, why is this going on, or why did this not work out? And I think the simple answer is, if somebody asks why, then the answer is because, and then you expand upon or talk about the card that comes up to explain or describe the reason, right? So if you've got a why question, the reader thinks, okay, it's not, it's this is because, and then it's up to you to make sense of the card that comes up. And because we can have a question, we can have a why that refers to the past. Why am I like this? And you've got a, the, the King of Cups in the past because of the influence of this older man, let's say, or the King of Cups reversed because of this older man who didn't treat you very well. So it could be the father, or it could be some other again, it depends how far back you go, right? Because the King of Cups could be somebody you met or had a bad relationship or bad dealings with yesterday or last week. It could be a boss, for instance, or it could be last month, or it could be 10 years ago, or it could be when you were a child. So we don't know about the time frame. Can be important, or can give you an idea of who this or what this particular circumstance refers to. And then you've got the present and you've got the future as well. So I thought the best thing to do is, if I can take one question and give you examples of what we could make using the same card. So the question is, why is this going to work out? Right, so it's a question about, so let's say you've spoken about a good circumstance that's coming up, and the person says, okay, well, why is it going to work? Why is it going to be good? Why is it going to succeed? Why am I going to succeed? A question like that. So we've got a good future situation, and we've got the question, why is this thing going to come about? So let's say you pick and I'm going to use the same card. Let's say you pick the sun card. So on the sun card, we've got a horse, a child, excuse me, a horse, a child, a banner, a wall, and the sun and sunflowers. So we've got various elements in the picture that we can talk about, or that we can use as the reason why this thing is going to work. So why is it going to work? Let's say you talk about the wall and say, because it's going to work because there's a barrier between you, let's say the child, and other people who might want to get you off track or who might distract you. Or maybe it's going to work because you're the child, because you've got enthusiasm, because in the same way that a child doesn't know or doesn't believe that things can go wrong, then your optimism and your confidence is going to carry you through. Or because the child is holding a banner. So it can be that it's going to work because you're going to promote the situation, and other people are going to respond. They're going to see what you're doing or what you're offering, and they're going to come along. So you're going to get support from other people, right? So you've got, we know the question, why is this going to work? And we look at the card, and we see what is positive about the card, or how the different bits and pieces in the card can be looked at positively, or would indicate, or could describe a positive situation. Okay, so why is it going to work, the sun upright? Then the question could be, why is it not going to work? Oh, no, I'll do that in a minute. Okay, why is it going to work, the sun upright? Why is it going to work, the sun reversed? So you can look at the sun reversed and think, oh no, it's the sun reversed, it's not going to work. But that wasn't the question. The question is, why is it going to work? And the answer is the sun reversed. And it's going to work because you don't approach it in a childish way. There's a child on a horse. It's going to work because you're not like a child. You've got experience. You're not inexperienced like the child. So think about what you know and how you can take what you've learned in other areas of life, let's say, and apply it to what's going on, or to the question that has been asked about. Why is it going to work? The sun reversed. Because the horse can represent transportation, and it can represent circumstances or a group or something moving you forward. But it's going to work because you're not depending on outside forces to propel you forward or to carry you. Because if you get in a horse, you can go a distance and it doesn't really tire you out. But with a horse with the sun reversed, you're not going to look to or depend on other people or circumstances to propel you forward. So it's your own effort, and that's why it's going to work. So it can mean that the questioner then thinks, okay, I really ought not to ask Bob and Bill for help, or if I ask Bob and Bill to do stuff for me, either they're not going to do it or it's not going to work out the way I think. So I really ought to be independent. Okay, so why is it going to work? The sun upright and reversed. Then the question might be, why is it not going to work? And we get the sun reversed. And so we've got the same elements, but we have to think about what sense those same elements would make to explain why it's not going to work. I have to keep this thought in my head here. Okay, so the question is, why is it not going to work? And the answer is the sun reversed. It's not going to work because you're not enthusiastic, because you're anticipating problems, because you're going to let little obstacles stop you. So something that is a glitch, you're going to take it as a sign that it's not meant to be, or you're going to expand upon and exaggerate little things, little molehills, and turn them into mountains. I think there's an expression about turning mountains, I forget, mountains into molehills, or the other way around. So with the sun reversed, it's not going to work because you lose your enthusiasm, or because you think that it's not as, that you ought not to be as optimistic as you were in the beginning, or else the team is not going to turn up, the horse, or you hold up the banner, but the kind of people that you attract are not right, or they're not compatible with you, or they've got their own agenda. And so as you talk about the different bits and pieces in the picture, and say, you're not saying, giving one answer and saying this is it and nothing else can happen. You're saying it might be the fact that the child is upside down, so you lose your enthusiasm, or it might be that the horse doesn't show up, or it might be that the banner attracts the wrong people, or it might be that there's no wall, or it might be that the sun doesn't shine on you. So as you talk about the different possibilities, the questioner knows the details about their thinking and their planning and the people involved. And so if you talk about the banner being reversed and saying it's not going to work because you're not going to attract the right kind of people, or it may be that you're not going to attract the right kind of people, the questioner knows about who they've been talking to and the kind of discussions they've had, or maybe they've been hoping that they've told 2 or 3 people and they didn't get a good response, but they've been hoping that these other people are going to come around and support them. But by you talking about the banner and not attracting the right people, they're going to realize, or they've got the chance to realize, that they ought to stop hoping that these other people are going to change their mind. So you're not saying these people are not going to change their mind. You're saying you're going to attract the wrong people, and it's up to the questioner to join the dots, so to speak, and understand that perhaps people that they're hoping are going to come around are not going to come around. So don't depend on them, but come up with some other plan, or either find other people or do yourself what you're hoping that these other people are going to do. Okay, so Why is it not going to work? And the answer can be because the sun is upright. So it's not going to work because I can't think of what to say. It's not going to work because the sun is upright, because you're a child about it, or because you're expecting to be transported. You're over optimistic about the help that you're going to get, or that you're here and you with the okay, if you get on a horse, you can ride, let's say, 5 miles, and it's not that difficult or it's not that tiring, but suddenly you're 5 miles away. So if we take that with the question, so you're where you are right now, and you know what you want to be, the future to be like, right? You're going to be 5 miles from here, and the horse is going to take you, but it's not going to work because you don't know how you're going to get to 5 miles away. So you know where you are and you know what the outcome is that you want, but you don't know how you're going to get there, or you haven't thought enough about the steps that you need to take to get you to where it is that you want to go. So that's why is it not going to work? Because of the sun upright, because the horse can be the problem. Or it's not going to work because you're holding up a banner and you're trying to attract people, but maybe what they come to you, they respond, but you've got nothing to give them, or you haven't got enough to give them. And again, it depends on the actual question, but you can. So I'm thinking of somebody starting a business, let's say, and they get the customers, but then the customers show up and realize that these people have got nothing to sell me. They've only got one little thing. They promise a lot, but I get here and discover that what they're advertising isn't really what they're giving me. So that's the disconnection, let's say, between the banner being waved and the reality of the situation, and that's why it's not going to work. So you think about the question, and the question is why, and the answer is because, and then you look at the card that comes up. You don't have preconceived ideas about this is good or this is bad, that the sun upright is always good and the sun reversed is always bad. You look at the different pieces, the different bits and pieces in the picture, and relate each of them to an understanding of why it is or isn't going to work, or why it is or isn't cooperation or a good thing or a good situation, whatever makes sense for the question. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And I'll see you probably in a couple of days. And I'm thinking the next time I might talk about, I got this quote, I'll tell you it now. I read something somewhere, it might have been in Thomas Troward, but he says, the aim of the devil is distraction. And I thought I might like to discuss what that means, what that tells us about the devil card, and what we can do with it, with that idea. So I'm telling you now so that if you watch this, it gives you time for you to think about how you would describe and answer the question, or talk about the statement, the aim of the devil is distraction. What does it mean? What is it telling us? Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.